Hey everyone, welcome back to the 12 days of Christmas. We are on day 9. So exciting. Today's video is going to be so much fun. I'm using polymer clay to create a landscape scene. So I have been so excited for this particular video because one of my first mediums as an artist was actually pottery and clay. And I have been dying to just get back into clay and just work with my hands and sculpt and build. And I even had dreams about this video last night, so that's how excited I am about this particular project. So let's dive into it and I'll see you soon. So let's go through the materials that I have here. There's certain types of materials that I will be using in the kitchen. For example, once I get all the things sculpted, I will then place it on a pan. So of course I don't have the pan here. But to dive in, I have some polymer clay that is from Hobby Lobby. These are the Crafters collection. And what I noticed yesterday while I was preparing for this particular video is that I accidentally purchased advanced clay. So I won't be using this, although I really wish I could use these colors. I'm gonna double check my collection and see if I have a green and a yellow that looks like this. Oh, I actually have a green already, but I definitely need a yellow for this particular project. So just so that you all know, if you're purchasing polymer clay in this particular brand, they do have a craft and an advanced option. So the major difference is the baking time and the baking temperature. So you want to make sure you pay attention to those things. Some other tools that I'll be using are this wood. I'm going to try to create a scene on this wood. It's gonna have a little house with the mountains and trees. So that's my goal. I have this parchment paper that I'm gonna use to protect the wood while I'm molding things on it so that I stay in place. I have my rolling pin that I just purchased from Target, appropriate for the season. I also have some clay tools over here, just in case if I need to use them, some sculpting tools and a cutter. And I have these extra baggies here for storage once I'm done with the clay. The other thing I'll probably be using is paint once I'm done sculpting and getting everything into place. So first impressions on this clay, I have worked with this particular clay once before. I don't think this is the preferred clay for many polymer artists. I think I'm going to, so the plan is that I need to get this malleable. And I'm going to try to do this off camera because it's going to take some time. So this one is malleable now. And it's much more workable. Whereas like this is super tough. So I need to spend some time molding all of these. So yeah, I'm going to do that off camera and then be back. The process of creating this relief painting was so much fun. I think if I had, which I probably will try again, but if I had the second opportunity to recreate this one again, I would definitely sketch things out first and plan things a bit better. I think I struggled a lot with trying to figure out what should be in the foreground, what should be in the background. you kind of almost have to treat it as a collage in a way and think about how you layer each of those individual elements. I kind of just winged it, and I based it off of a photo that I was observing. Well, multiple photos actually. I love to do a bit of research before creating some of my work. But I think the step of sketching and planning things is very important, and I think I missed that step in this. However, no biggie. It was meant to be fun. I definitely enjoy working with the polymer clay. I think for next polymer clay projects, I will most definitely get better quality clay. The Crafters was okay. I did enjoy the Craft Smart much better. So that was that big pack that you just saw. And that one's from Michaels. It was much more smoother. I am noticing that I love the softer clay. All right, I'm making a lot of progress. This is taking a lot of time, like I expected. It's very meditative. I love these tools. I definitely recommend them. Of course, I got those from Hobby Lobby. It seems that almost every video I'm like mentioning things that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. Not sponsored. I actually don't think they sponsor people. I just go there very often with my mom, and I tend to just catch sales whenever I can. So, anywho, I am just layering different pieces of clay together and creating texture where I can. I'm also going to add paint to this. So right now it looks a little one-sided or one-dimensional in some ways. I do want to paint after this. So I'm going to continue to mold and add things, but so far so good. The house is so cute. I wish I had red. I wanted the house to be red, but I can always paint that. I'm also wishing that I had some black polymer clay. Again, I can paint that on as long as I have the positioning of certain things. So I'm going to adjust as needed and just kind of get the bases down. This is definitely going to take a long time before I can even get it in the oven, but it's very fun. All right, so I'm going to continue here, and I will check in later. I am pretty much done. It's time for baking. So just to give you what I was thinking could be a good idea. So I'm gonna, because this is parchment paper, I can put this right on my pan and straight into the oven. So I'm gonna be using this board, and the idea is that I'm going to align it to the bottom edge, and I'm actually just gonna mold the bottom just a bit so that it does align. I'm gonna mold that to the bottom edge, and then the top portion of the board will be painted sky. Of course, I'm gonna go back in with some detail and add some texture and some paint, but for the most part it's gonna be pretty folk art style. But I do want to create some shade and shadow, and of course add some detail, probably change the house to be a bit of a red color, and then add some detail to the windows and things like that. Excuse me. In 15 minutes. All right, here's the true test of time. Let's see what it looks like. Hopefully it didn't burn. I'm gonna let it rest for a little, and I'll be back. I think things are good. I missed a little patch right here, but that's okay. I love it, so cute. Okay, so let me place it on here. So I'm gonna try to glue things down with Mod Podge. And then I'll go in and paint it. So I'm actually gonna just use a spatula and I'm not too worried about sanding and things like that because I'm treating this like a painting, and the way I like my paintings are with texture. I thought about sanding at the start of this video, but then I was thinking like this is actually not going to be like some type of figurine or anything. It's meant to look like a painting, so there's that. Okay, my meeting is over and the rest of my day is devoted to art, which is so exciting. I love when that happens, when I finish all my school things and work things and I just get to do art. Okay, so I am loving how things turned out. I just glued things on. Things are good to go for painting. I am going to be using the gouache paint that has been my go-to lately. Definitely diving into all of the palettes today. So I made a huge mistake in selecting the water-based gouache. I definitely should have delved into my acrylic gouache. You can see that the water-based gouache is sort of absorbing, but the pigment is staying. And I do mention this later on in the video. Things turned out well, however. So as I'm painting this, I'm realizing that I should be using acrylic gouache and not regular gouache. But it is what it is. I think I'm going to just keep going with this method. So far so good. Love these trees. Love this little effect that's happening. I'm going to continue, and I'll probably use acrylic gouache for the top portion. For the final touches, I modified the windows and I sealed everything with a Mod Podge. It gave it that glossy look. I loved how this turned out, and I hope you did too. Thank you for watching, and as always, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.